Hey game makers, how we doing tonight? Oh, it feels good to be back in the saddle again. I just want to give a shout out to everyone in the Discord channel that I have. I have been sick all week. I kind of skipped last week because I had the flu. So I was laid up in bed most of the week, clinging on to the edge of life. It was not fun. It was honestly one of the worst experiences I've had in a while. So there's that. And yeah, other than that, life is good. Can't complain. So you guys can hear me. Looks like you can hear me. We're gonna go with it. Okay. So tonight, I want to get really deep into showing exactly how Heroku can be set up, what can be configured, and what it takes to go from A to Z for a setup, which is literally less than 5 minutes. So we're going to go a little bit slower because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a portion of this video and I'm actually going to make a YouTube video out of it to give to people so that they can, you know, like a really quick, whatchamacallit? They can easily just look at the tutorial, and that way they don't have to see me babble on about a bunch of developer level stuff. They can just see the tutorial, call it a day. I might even do it offline, but I figure we'll go through it. It should only take a few minutes, but it kind of shows that I put in a little extra time outside. I was sick, so I had a little bit of time to kind of do some extra stuff, get things rocking and rolling, and I feel like we're finally in a place where we can start to at least move on, or at least not spend so much time fixing what we already have, even though there's always going to be constant reworking and rewriting of stuff. I do want to start getting into new features, so hopefully within either this time or next time we can really start talking new features. So that's the game plan tonight, and that's where we are going to start off. So first things first, let's deploy to Heroku from scratch. I'm going to go over things really slowly, but when you set it up the first time, it should be pretty, I mean, you can literally hit a few buttons and it's done. So we're gonna hit this deploy to Heroku. I am currently working on a separate branch. You can't see the name of the branch, but it's updated server config documentation. I'm updating the documentation so that it shows you the environmental variables that you can configure, what the defaults are, that kind of thing. And yeah, I'm just updating a few things so that this deploy to Heroku makes a little bit more sense than what it is right now, where it's like this random deploy to Heroku button and we didn't really make much documentation. So I want to spend a little bit more time with the documentation. It's on my to-do list. I just haven't done it yet. So I am aware of that. I figure let's video document it for everyone who wants to get this up and running really quick. And then I'm going to spend time and actually document it. Unless one of you magically wants to document it for me, which would be fantastic, and I can get my hopes up for that. It's not going to happen, but I can hope. All right, so this magical deploy to Heroku button, let's hit this sucker. Okay, and we are going to log in. First thing it asks you is to create an app name. We've done this before. This is nothing new. So I'm just going to create Nell Test 2, just to keep it nice and simple on my end. Okay. We're going to choose United States. You can either choose United States or Europe. I'm in the United States. I'm going to choose the United States. We don't need to add a pipeline. There's no need. We're doing MLab, Heroku, Redis, and SendGrid. So SendGrid is new. SendGrid is so that we can send emails right out of the box. So you don't need a Gmail account. You don't need anything else. This will work straight out of the box. There is a small little configuration that you have to do. Last time you tried this, there was an issue with the app.js. I figured out SendGrid. So I have it fully implemented. It's not an issue. Rainbow Kappa has a concern about the app.json. Yes, I did have an issue with it last time. I put some extra time in and it's not an issue anymore. And you'll see when we go over this. because once again, I'm doing this completely from scratch. I'm going to bring it up. We're going to go through everything, and then I'm going to take it down again. So I'm pretty much going to do this before every stream now, because I can just show the environmental variables and I just don't care. So SendGrid allows us to send emails directly to users. It was a choice between SendGrid and Mailgun. Each have their pros and cons, and I could get into a little bit. I personally like Mailgun just slightly better, but there's a little bit of a paywall. There's a little bit of, not paywall. They do have 10,000 emails a month for free. Same thing as SendGrid. The problem is, in order to send it to anyone, you have to have a credit card on file because they have an issue with spammers. So it's just one of those, you got to put in a credit card. They don't charge you, but it's still, if you don't have a credit card, it can kind of be a little pain in the assery. So with this method, no credit card is required at all. Between Heroku, SendGrid, Mongo, Redis, nothing. I will say for Heroku, you get significantly less free hours if you don't have a credit card tied to it. So just something to keep in mind in general. A second, guys. Gotta read the chat here. Go Crab Pizza. Dude, do what you gotta do. I'll be here. All right. So like I said, so that's what's going on with that. Let's look at some of these config vars, because what I also did was updated the app.json to include almost all config variables that I could think of that I saw in my application, and going forward we will add them as defaults. If anyone creates something new, it's one of those things I'll be asking people to add environmental variables for the configs, so that way Heroku users can just get it right off the bat. There's a default and they can change it on the fly afterwards, which I'll go into and how you can do that. But back to SendGrid and Mailgun before I lose too much track of this. Mailgun has the paywall to allow you to send to anybody, because they give you a free email account. The problem is they only let you, I think, do like 5 recipients, and you have to like verify your email. It's a pain in the ass, but it does work. And it is free. And the one good thing I like about Mailgun over SendGrid, the biggest thing, is time to email. SendGrid, as you're going to see, takes about a minute from register, send email, delivered in the email box. It takes about a minute. Mailgun takes about 5 seconds. So, you get what you pay for in that sense. I even did deeper research with both of them and went with like the low level paid plan just for a little bit, just to see what it was like. And they both have very similar paid plans. I mean, you can set up your and both, by the way, you can do this on the free plan as well. You can set up your domain. So if you have a domain, like I use neldersongaming.com, that's what I own. Like I could point it to my subdomain, and the emails looked like they came from my domain and that kind of thing. So there's all sorts of really cool things you can do, and you can customize it, and all just works. It's a little bit deeper. You definitely have to like go into your DNS settings, and you got to know what you're looking at and that kind of thing. But there's plenty of documentation on SendGrid and on Mailgun to do that. I just had to make a choice between SendGrid and Mailgun. And I personally like Mailgun a little bit better, but I went with SendGrid because there was no credit card there was no credit card wall in general, just to get up and running. It was really quick and easy to set up. And if you really want to go deep, you can go down deep. Like I said, the only big drawback I saw was the time to actually email people was the biggest thing for me. But once again, the majority of people who are going to do Heroku at first are going to be people who just want to get this up and running as soon as humanly possible, test it, and see how it works with their game. This will allow you to do that super, super quick, and you can prototype quickly. I also want to stress that I also have, I go back to my GitHub here before I forget. So I didn't completely get rid of Mailgun. I actually have it in a separate branch. This Mailgun integration, I kind of have the code there just in case anyone wants to use it. I might do like this quasi, like you can do 3 different ones. You can either use Node Mailer or SendGrid or this. But but we'll talk about that another time. Right now, it's just between SendGrid and NodeMailer. And the way that I have it is for Heroku, technically you start off at transporter, NodeMailer, I mean. You start off at NodeMailer and you have to specify SendGrid within Heroku, and I'll show you what I mean by that. And if you're doing it manually, it's just going to use NodeMailer just like it did before. You're not even going to see SendGrid unless you specify the environmental variable for SendGrid. Once again, I will show you what that means, but it's really, I made it so that everything should be backwards compatible. So you should be able to plug in this code, use your NodeMailer account, use your Gmail account if you're using a Gmail account normally. It should all just work fine. Anyway, back to creating that app, okay? So these config variables, now that we talked about email to death, NV chat enable logging, and once again, I'm not going to go through every single one of these config variables because they're for, chat, they're for metric dump, they're for everything. Everything that you can configure within the MV system is in these things right here. The biggest ones that I want to point out, okay, is this first hash and this JWT secret. So what I didn't know when I first started this was you can actually have it auto-generate for you. You can auto-generate the secret, which is actually really beneficial for me because now I don't have to worry about if people are actually changing the default values. It's going to change for them. And this is actually a lot better in a lot of different ways. And you'll see when we set up the client side, you're going to have to keep this in mind. But I think this just makes a whole lot of sense. I mean, I should have been doing this on the config file anyway, where it's auto-generating no, but you can't auto-generate every single time. This makes a lot more sense. This makes a lot more sense to do in general. So it creates the JWT secret, which is the JSON web token. It's what the server signs the token with. It's an internal secret. It just needs it every single time to decrypt the JSON web token. So it's just a random string, but it has to be consistent every single time on the server. So let it auto-generate, let it do its thing. And then the MV first hash has to do with, I did like a quasi SSL on first pass through. And this also has SSL, so it's really, really secure. The first hash, once again, internal, but you need it on the client side as well. And we'll get into how you do that. Excuse me. We'll get into how you do that, but I just want you to know that it auto generates, and that's what's going on there. And then a lot of these other ones are, should be relatively familiar. So like lost password expires. So when you get a lost password email, how long does the link last for? And right here it's an equal to an hour. Metrics, token expires. This is the amount of time before the token expires. Right here it's 14 days. And then they'll have to relog in again in order for them to work. I also did this worker count because this is a Heroku specific kind of thing. So Redis connections are a little weird. A Heroku sandbox account, so a base level free Heroku account, you can have up to like 8 cores or something like that, and they're all really, really light. But the problem is you're connecting to Redis multiple times per core, and you go over your free limit on the Redis server, so it's not catching everything. So I reduced the worker count so that way the Redis connection doesn't go over. Now, I kept this as an environment variable so you can up it if you decide to go to a higher dyno, or if you want to pay for more Redis connections or something to that effect. Once again, this is all kind of interdependent, but you don't have to change it right here. You can change it once we're inside the app. Okay, so really, I went really slow, but literally all you have to do is type in your app name and hit deploy app, and it's going to kind of do its thing. So really long and convoluted. I know it's brutal, but I needed to. This took a little bit of time to go through to make sure everything was properly working. I had to test all these variables, make sure they all worked, but it's working. It feels nice. And we are going to get this up and rocking. And then I'm going to show you kind of how to navigate within here. There are a few. So once again, all we've really done is hit the deploy to Heroku button and put in a name. That's all we've touched. Okay, I kind of went over everything, but that's all we touched so far. So I just want to Keep this in mind. Okay, so if I hit manage app or view, it shouldn't really matter between the two. All right, so manage app. So we got our Redis, our Mongo, our SendGrid. Okay, SendGrid out of the box does not work. Okay, right here on this screen, it does not work. There is one little thing you got to do. Okay, so we're going to go into SendGrid by just clicking on SendGrid. And once again, this is something I have to document very, very well. Okay, the first thing that they want to do is like, they say, hey, we want to make sure we can get in touch with you in case there's a problem. I recommend doing this. It is not necessary at first. Okay, so we can close it for right now, but this is something really cool. You know, in case SendGrid has any issues with your account, they can email you directly instead of going through Heroku or some weirdness like that. So you can just X out of it for right now. So the big thing that you have to do here, go to settings, go to API keys, create an API key, give it a name, whatever name you want. I'm just going to put test. Okay, I'm going to give it full access, create, copy that by double clicking it, hit done. Okay, and now within here, we're going to go to settings, inside of Heroku, reveal config var. So this is what I was talking about, where all these configuration variables are easily changed right over here. So this first hash, this JWT secret are completely automatically assigned and given. The Mongo URI is in there, the Redis host, all this kind of stuff. So it does have a SendGrid username and password, but SendGrid by default does not come with an API key. So literally we are going to add SendGrid. And once again, I'm going to put this in the directions. So SendGrid API key. Okay, and we are going to put that value that we just copied over. Really quick, let me just documentation notes. Okay, I just want to make sure I have a rolling tally of what I need to do. So we got that SendGrid API key. Whenever you change an environmental variable and save it, it automatically restarts your server. So we can assume that this is up and running right now. Okay, so now the better question is, what do we do? You know, now it's up and running. The server is good to go. Now we need to point our game to the server. Okay, so the easiest way to get your URL, we're gonna hit this open app button, and this is our URL. Okay, so we're gonna take this, copy that URL. We're gonna come over here. We're gonna come into our main core. I am going to paste this and delete that trailing / but you wanna know what? I am going to write this down. Hold on a second. Ignore and this is something I'm going to do programmatically, where if somebody puts that extra / I don't want them to get hung up based on that, because that shouldn't really matter. So I can just test within programmatically within the online main core, just to kind of, you know, that way there's no confusion, there's no weird and silliness and that kind of thing. Anyway, okay, so we got the server URL. So now we're pointing to the server URL. The other thing we need to change is the first hash. So the first hash, once again, when you put in your password, it gets hashed really quick on the client side, which then has to get uninterpreted on the server side. It's just a quick hash to kind of, just in case you don't have HTTPS or shell connection, it just kind of hashes it so you're not putting raw passwords over the network. It's not even 100% necessary, but it's just, it's overkill. It's already built in. We might as well keep it. And we are going to copy now from our nel test 2. We are going to take our first hash. We're going to have to hit this, copy that, and put that right in there. There we go. Apply, okay. So now we should be ready to go. Okay. I'm also going to show the fact that there's nothing within our Resources, if I come to our Mongo lab, so you can click on Mongo lab and it brings you right into Mongo. Already logged in and everything. I have 0 accounts, 0 saves, I have 0 everything. Okay. So now I'm gonna make an account. Okay. Hold on, where am I here? There we go. So I'm gonna register. Okay, we're gonna go to Nelderson Gaming. I'm just gonna pick our generic username and password. Hit submit. Check your email for the activation link. Really quick here, let me just clear my screen here. I'm gonna show you something really cool. You can use Heroku logs -- tail to tail the log of your application. And the way you do that is Heroku logs -- tail -a for app, and then I'm neltest2. In order for this to work, you have to run a command called Heroku login, which then makes you authenticate with Heroku, and then you can do this. So that's how it knows that you're logged in and that kind of thing. This info yes means that it was pushed through correctly, and I should change that. Hold on. More notes. Excuse me. Send grid successful messages. As you can tell, I've been going at a blistering pace trying to get you guys all this content and all this ability to just go super, super quick. So if I go to my email, like I said, this takes a hot minute to come through. However, it has come through for us. Okay. Hello, Zian, welcome. Your account has been registered. You must go to this following link. And right now it's pointing to neltest2, Heroku activate, and then the activation code, which should just work. Hits activation. You wanna know what we should really... should make an activation page. That needs to be there. This activation silliness needs to go away. I should make something quick. Anyway, all right, so let's, what am I doing here? Let's log in. So now I should be able to just log in. We're good to go. So we're logged in. We have our one account, which is our username Z, Nelson at gaming. And it works beautifully fine. So once again, we went from A to Z in a few minutes. This is pretty much it. You're good to go. And it's literally as simple. So by default, we enabled everything. So net players, metrics, cloud save, everything's working. So I mean, I can't stress enough that you know, before I did like a hour and a half, it felt like a 45-minute video on how to set this up, and this took me 20 minutes going as slow as humanly possible to explain every little detail. And really it takes, you know, 2 minutes. You know, it's putting a name, getting the SendGrid API, putting in the SendGrid API, and done. Well, also setting up the client side, which once again, I already have the client side kind of set up. So it wasn't as difficult for me because I didn't have to set up the client side. So the client side is it's a little bit different of a video. We did that a couple sessions ago where we really, you know, made everything from scratch. But yeah, it works. There is no excuse me. Remnants of being sick. There is no my brain's taking a vacation. Hold on. There's no extra configuration, folks. I mean, it really is that simple, easy. I don't think if there's anything else I wanna mention from here. We already went about changing dyno types and that kind of thing with Heroku. We should go over how to push your own code to Heroku. We really should do something along those lines. Let me think of how I want to do this. I didn't really think about this beforehand. Oh, you know what? Oh, what plan of Heroku is recommended for beyond dev use? Okay, that is a great question. So Rainbow Kappa made a good point here where, you know, what dyno type is good for, you know, kind of, excuse me, what dyno type is good for beyond dev use. So once again, free is kind of like sandbox, you know, it's going to shut down after 15 minutes of inactivity. It's not really meant for, you know, production level use or anything beyond that. I've seen hobby. I've seen it used for staging environments. I've seen hobby used for actual live production apps. Be aware that we are pushing a lot of data through, especially with like net players. If you're having a lot of players on it, I would start getting into this standard 1x area, which is around $25 a month, or you can have a few hobbies string together, you know, like 3 or 4 hobby ones string together, because each one you can kind of pool the resources. Because remember, everything auto scales. So you can, I haven't actually tried it, and I really should try it, to do like 2 hobby dynos and just see how it does. I'm pretty sure they do it by month, but you can do it before that. Hold on a second. Excuse me. Application metrics. Prorated to the second. So this is also another point as well. Everything is prorated to the second. So let's say you're having a really, you can actually tell based off how many users are in there. You can auto scale up and then scale down as needed. And there's all sorts of little cool ways to do that. We'll get into that another time. I think hobby would get by for most people, for most situations. The more you have, the bigger it needs to be. And once again, Heroku, the reason why I chose Heroku is not because it's the best, it's because it was the easiest to set up for the majority of people without having to put in a dime. You know, it was kind of like the combination of all the things. It does work really well to just upgrade. I mean, don't get me wrong, it makes total sense, but the initial reason why I did this was just because I could make it where it's, you know, as close to one click as possible. And that way, no, you know, people aren't futzing around with configurations, especially on servers that they have never touched before, using node.js, which they've never touched before. Because then I get a lot of emails on how to do things that I've already gone over. And it's not fun for anyone involved. For me, for you, for anyone. So, you know, I wanted to make this as straightforward and simple as humanly possible. Heroku gave me that opportunity. And quite honestly, I'm liking it. Even just for me, for, you know, setting this up for every single stream, I can do this in 2 seconds right before. I can show you the config variables. It doesn't really matter because I'm just going to delete it afterwards anyway. It's been really easy to test. I mean, I have it set up where, you know, I already have like a simple server running on my computer to host the index file to then, you know, that then points to this nell, and I can test pretty much every feature in a matter of seconds. So it's really, really nice on that level. Heroku's been really, really good at that level. Yeah, this was more so people could try out the system really, 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 really quick. But it does have the potential to be full production level ready. Just be aware that things can get a little pricey. And let me show you what I mean by that. So let's go back to my Neld 2. So let's say, for sake of argument, we upgraded to one of these professional standard one time, and let's say we went with the minimum $25 a month. Okay, so there's $25 a month there. Then let's upgrade Heroku. I mean, the Heroku Redis to even just the premium 0, which is $15 a month, which I don't even think it's that much. Where do we got here? I think it's here. Yeah. Hold on. So Heroku, yeah, here we go. It tells you right here. So this has connection limit of 40. So this will definitely work on a lot more. Memory of 50 megs. This has 25 megs with a 20 connection limit. But once again, this connection limit, this 20 connection limit, I mean, I was running 8 workers and it was hitting this 20 connection limit, no problem. I had to go down to 4 workers in order to stay under this 20 connection limit. So Redis and Socket.io handle Redis connections a little bit differently, or it's Heroku, or something's a little bit off there. So even if we want this, so $25 a month for the standard, $15 a month for this, right? Then for Mongo, right? Not Dev Center. Give me a second. For Mongo, okay, the free has, 500 megabytes of storage and that kind of thing. But if you want to go up to a gig, it's $18 a month. Once again, a gig will get you by for a little while. It'll get you by for a couple thousand users. Actually, it should get you by for a few thousand users. As long as they're not like absolutely destroying your system, you should be good with that. Depends how much you're going with metrics and that kind of thing, how much extra data you're saving. But if you're just doing like the basic stuff like cloud save and that kind of thing, you can do a few thousand users with $18 a month. Okay, so now we're at 25, 15, and 18, so that's $58 a month. Then SendGrid, okay, is $0 a month for up to 12,000 emails a month. Okay, which sounds like a lot, but 12,000 emails a month can go really quick. If all your Heroku is super responsive. I'm not gonna lie, I love Heroku. It's just, you gotta be hyper aware of the environment that you pick. So and then this is up to 40 emails per month for $10 a month, which would cover you for a lot. Plus it also has the event API. No, it has all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so the starter should get by for most people, so that's not a huge issue. 12,000 emails is not terrible. Yeah, but even if you had to bump it up, another $10 a month. So I mean, for a production level app, you could be spending $70, $80 a month, which for, if you have thousands of users, I mean, that's just par for the course. I mean, it's going to cost you money to service that many people at once. So just something to keep in mind. I think these are reasonable prices. It's a great starting setup. Once again, you can scale it, but once again, Node Mailer is free, but you might get more in spam boxes, whereas SendGrid, it just automatically does it for you. Plus SendGrid has a whole nother thing where you can like set up templates, and then you can like programmatically put things into templates. I've worked with companies that do this kind of stuff. SendGrid is a lot more powerful than you think, and it is production level ready by every stretch of the imagination. So it's a matter of cost versus what you need versus, do you have actual employees and customers and that kind of thing. Once again, nobody's building anything right now that's pure production level ready, but this is production level capable out of the box, for no question about it. Okay, so let's close all of these. That was a good question. It's one of those things where we didn't really go over this, but yeah, spending a few minutes going over this was not a bad idea. All right, so that's dyno type. We went over config variables. We went over SendGrid integration versus Mailgun. I don't think there's anything else I want to talk to with Heroku integration. If not, we're going to move on to features, maybe look over some issues, start talking about the future. Let me just look over this one more time. Whoa, whoa. No. I think that'll do it for Heroku deployment. Like I said, I'm gonna have to go over. I really want to make not only the video documentation, but I also want to make actual documentation that kind of fits, you know, the two different kinds of deployments. I want to get a little bit more, not in depth, but I want to explain the process of like, hey, you set up a name, hey, you go into SendGrid, you click on the API key and you set an API key and then you just put it in. And then the client configuration, you know, you set up the first hash and the Heroku app ID and that's, or the Heroku server URL, and that's it. It's done. But I still want to do it in a nice, robust way that's easy for users to understand, but then also have this deeper, you know, server configuration that we've been doing primarily that I have a bunch of videos out already for. So I'm in the middle of that. I'm kind of working on it here. I'm going to have to iterate over this a few times. I don't want to do documentation on stream. I think that is boring as all hell, and I really don't want to do that. I think I would still rather configure it manually. $18 is a bit steep. Awesome for easy deployments, scale away for expandable, which you can turn off and spend less. Yeah, I mean, you know, that's true. I mean, once again, you can also do like a hybrid system. You can integrate all of these things on your own. So like instead of using Heroku Redis, you can use Redis Labs, which has, you know, very similar stats where you can do 20 connections and 25 megabytes and that kind of thing. Like there's all sorts of free resources. SendGrid you can use on your own, integrate it on your own, put in the API key on your own, in your own environmental variable, and just do it manually. There's nothing that says you have to go through Heroku. I just really like Heroku just for its simple, like, you know, here you go, done. But yes, I totally agree. You know, a gigabyte at 18 bucks a month it's not cheap, especially when you could get a computer that's relatively fast and stable. Shit, I mean, you could even probably do something like Amazon, EC2, you know, I don't know if you could do DynamoDB, but you could certainly put MongoDB on an EC2 instance and have 10 gigs for, you know, 18 bucks a month easily, if even that. You know, just running MongoDB on a EC2 instance, on a Linux EC2 instance should cost you like $7 or something like that. So, you know, convenience versus price versus how do you want to play it? The good thing about MLab is that you also get the sharding for free, you get the daily backups for free, you get all sorts of little things for free that you're going to have to build into whatever thing that you want to build. And it's probably going to cost you about the same amount, and it's not going to be nearly as secure. So, you know, like MongoDB doesn't come with authentication by default. You have to set up authentication. You have to make sure you set it up correctly. Once again, not something I would suggest for someone who's just starting out in DevOps world. But if you know what you're doing, by all means, set it up manually. Like, it'll definitely save you a couple bucks, but you got to know what you're doing. And for Heroku, for the majority of people out there who are just trying the system out just to test it out, or they're indie devs and, you know, they offset some of the cost to this, you know, it's worth the cost if you have the customers. It is pretty much how I would look at it. You know, it's better than learning it all from scratch. Plus, it's easy to upgrade. It's easy to kind of put your own things into it, which I'm just realizing I don't think I really went over how to all right, I think I'm going to spend a little bit of time before we go into new features. I'm going to spend a little bit of time going over how to let's say you wanted to insert custom code into your Heroku server. You know, how would you go about doing it? What's the simplest way? What's the easiest way? How do you make it completely separate from my system? Because I think for most of you, that's how you would want to play it. The good news, everybody, free accounts on GitHub, you can now do private repositories. So I have a pro account because I still use it for websites. Private repositories that have websites still need a pro account. So I still pay the whole $7 a month for the pro account just for that reason, because I actually do have a couple websites that run off GitHub. By the way, anyone who wants to know about that, you can DM me on Discord. I will show you how to do that and send you some resources. Really, really cool and super fast because they have automatic CDNs and all sorts of cool things. But you can set up a private repository and then set up a Heroku remote, and then you push to Heroku instead of pushing to GitHub is essentially how it works. Rono, I will show it super, super quick. I won't spend too long on this because I don't want to waste too much time. Let me see if see, this is what you shouldn't do on stream. Pick new things to do. You shouldn't be doing this. All right, so if I come over to my Nelderson account and I add a repository, I say new, and I say, okay, and I'm going to call this MV online super secret. Secret. Okay, and I'm going to say private. I have a super secret server. Okay. I'm not going to add anything. All right. I don't want to mess with my Git origin. Actually, it shouldn't matter. Yeah, because I can always put it back. Okay. So if I come over to my Git repository, so just you want, all right. You want to, let's go back here because I'd rather go from the beginning if you're starting from the beginning. I was just going to change over my remote and it would just confuse people. So let's go into my MV online system. Let's say I want to clone it. So I'm going to clone this. Where am I going to clone it? I'm going to clone it. I'm going to clone it to my desktop. Okay, so I'm just going into my desktop real quick and Git cloning it to my desktop. Okay. Then I'm going to go into the MV online system, just make sure I'm in the proper place. I am. Okay, so right here, what is it, clear? Okay, let's make this bigger. All right, there we go. Now we can see this. All right, so I have cloned my repository. Okay, and now I want to change. So I made the super secret. I'm going to change my repository remote. Okay, so when I say git push origin master, right now it's pointing to my master. It's pointing to this over here, MV online. But now I want to point it to my personal repository that I just made. I'm going to do this. I'm going to add it to... Remote origin already exists. Whoa. The heck? Okay. All right. So the origin is already... Is it just as simple as remove origin? Hold on. I've never removed an origin. Huh. Apparently you have to remove the remote origin first. All right. So let's remove the origin. And now I can add my origin. Or you can make origin whatever you want. You just got to remember what it is. So you can say git push, git remote add private, and you can now do git push private master. So you git push and then where you want to push it. So right here I'm saying origin, which would be this new origin. Or you can set private, or you can set, my super awesome place, whatever you want. The namespace doesn't really matter. Origin is just kind of like the default that people tend to use. You're going to see it all over the place. So I'm just changing the origin just for shits and giggles. So now I should be able to, and it should say it on the actual right here. So I should just be able to push to master. Perfect. And it's pushing everything to master. And you look at me and you say, great, I now have my own super secret MV online, whatever this is. So now you say, well, how do I get my own custom code to there? Glad you asked. So this, we're going to use Heroku add remote. Okay, so Heroku has the concept of adding a remote as well. So now within here, okay, we're going to add a Heroku remote. So this is pretty much the exact same thing as this remote add origin. We're kind of doing a remote add Heroku. Okay. And this dash, and then it's just a quicker command. So Heroku get remote, and then the app. So then we're going to do nel test 2, let's just say. Okay. Nel test 2. Perfect. Okay, and now it would be as simple as if I wanted to publish. So let's say I want to change something about my code. Okay, so let's change something within that desktop code. I am trying to think of the best way to do this and still show you. Here, let's do. All right, so I'm just going to open it up in a completely different file so you see it in a completely different file. Okay. And we are going to literally change the log.info so we can clearly see that it is completely different between the two. Okay, we're going to save that. We're going to save that. We'll close that. All right, so we save that. Git add, git commit, test. Okay. And then we're going to git push. And this is the origin. So there's two places that we could push this to right now. Okay. We could push to Heroku directly, or we can push to our own personal master. Okay. Because the origin, right? So if we do git push origin master, this will push it to our personal super secret repository. If we instead say to Heroku, it'll push it directly to Heroku because it's added as a remote as well. So this is the whole point of remotes. For future, I would put it to master, to your personal repository first, just so you have a solid base from which to work from, and then push it to Heroku. Just so you have a record of what you've changed and where you've changed it and that kind of thing. I'm just going to push it directly here to Heroku because, yeah. Okay. And it's going to write objects. It's going to do its thing. And it's going to build its resources. So it's literally deploying. Okay. And while it's deploying, you can see the build was started by me right here. So you can actually see it running because I have the logs running here. and this will do its thing. And once it actually completes, done launching, we will see, once the server comes on, you'll see the, the info changed right here, because that is the one piece of code that I've actually changed. So this is a quick and dirty, this is actually a very nice and clean way of doing it. So putting it into your own repository, and then adding the Heroku remote, you know, adding your app as the Heroku remote. So that way you can mess with my code as much as you want, and you can push the code directly to Heroku. So if you want to add your own custom Mongo server, you can add your own custom Mongo server and still use the Heroku stuff, no problem. You know, you can, you know, tweak little things, you can add little things, you can test little things, you can, you know, use it as a nice little sandbox to develop. And then if you want to, I mean, you could technically make a branch on mine, or make your own personal branch, or fork it, or, I mean, there's all different ways that you can do this. Yeah, I mean, yeah, now that I think about it, forking would probably be a lot easier. I just couldn't fork it quite a... Can you fork your own repository? Hold on a second. Can you fork your own repository? I've never even tried it. Hold on. Hold on. I don't know if you can fork. No, you can only fork other people's, right? Yeah, you can only... All right, so yeah, you can fork. You could just fork it. Oh, can you fork your own repository? No, you can't fork your own repository. Okay. All right, you can't fork your own repository. But you can, by all means, fork my repository and then add your Heroku remote and just post it to Heroku remote. That makes sense. That makes sense. That would be a lot easier. So forget everything I said about making your own personal repository, because you can pretty much, well, I mean, you can do it to keep it private, I guess. That wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. You can do it to keep it private. Yeah, because I don't know if you can fork and then make it private. You might even be able to fork and make it private. I will test that off stream another time, because I can't verify that either way. If anyone knows the answer to that, let me know. Or if anyone wants to test it out. All right. All right. So fork it, change the Heroku remote, and make it private, question mark. And you should be able to push your custom code to Heroku while still testing, you know, let's say you want to add a feature. You can add your own feature, add your own branch, you know, and then maybe add, you know, put in a pull request once it's all ready and rocking to go. And you can, you know, just consistently push to Heroku to test. So this makes it a little bit easier for everyone to be on the same page when it comes to, you know, environment and kind of how it works. If we're all relatively, Jesus, that was terrible. If we're all relatively using Heroku. All right, I think that's enough Heroku time. That is perfectly enough Heroku time. Let's see what we got here. Let's go back into our get rid of you. Delete. Go away. Delete. Goodbye. I never loved you anyway. Cool. Okay. Just wanted to make sure that was out of the way. Alrighty. Let's go over these issues. Anything new? Icon head actor. What? Show icon on top of character every time you open the menu. So this would require info being passed. Yeah, before I write, this would require info being passed from the scene manager to all the other sockets in play. Definitely possible. Because there's definitely a yeah, we'll put it as an enhancement. Okay, we'll put that in there. But this is going to be a lower priority item. I mean, it is cool. It is kind of useful. But yeah, I don't think it would be too hard. It's just time, the magical amount of time that would be needed to do this. Pretty much what I'm thinking is you could do something like on scene manager changes, or you can, you know, as it's opening, you can check to see if it's on the scene menu or scene shop or whatever, and you pass that off, and then in network players, you're just checking if whatever flag you want to put on, you know, has an icon or something like that. I would probably actually make it very dynamic and say, you know, has icon overhead or something like that, and then just give the icon ID or something like that and use it something along those lines. So you can make it really dynamic. So it's a matter of, you know, when does the icon ID change? And if it's null, nothing shows up. And then if it's like, you know, shop icon versus menu icon versus whatever icon that you damn well feel like, it's just how would you... Oh no, you could actually make a separate plugin for that, right? So you could check the scene manager when it starts, right? So like when the scene manager starts or whatever, you know, initializes or whatever it does, right at the beginning you say, hey, is, you know, and you're checking it against a config that's already been pre-done. You know, let's say you have, you know, scene menu is equal to icon 22, scene shop is equal to icon 23, etc., and then you just have it at the initialize. You're checking if scene manager.scene is equal to, you know, scene menu, then set the socket icon, you know, icon above head flag for that ID to whatever. And that's how I would do that. And then that way when the network player gets pushed out, it has that automatically. I mean, it's possible. Yeah, it's possible. Once again, it's just time. It's time that I do not magically have right now. But good question. Issues. They do exist. Google, Facebook. I want to come back to you so bad. Where's some of these other ones? It's been a while since I've looked at these. Hold on. Okay, no. We had a bunch of these. I still haven't done this. I really should do that. Let's put that in red. That's a big one that needs to be done. Update readme. These update readmes are big. These got to get done. I don't want to do it on stream, but I'm just trying to prioritize. Client documentation for cloud save. Not really necessary right this second, but it's definitely something that needs to get document all environmental variables. Well, yeah, they are kind of documented already. Now that I think about it. documented when you start up that app. There was another. Hold on a second. Session 5, session 3? What was session 3? Google authentication. Yeah. Sad day. All right. Whoa. What the? Dude. Bruh. Killing me, bruh. Session 1 notes. Okay. This gives us a little bit better of what's low, high, that thing. Okay, so follow network player. This is scene. Okay. All right, so let's go through this. HTTPS, this is something that needs to be done. It's technically something that you can do with Express. I still just got to document it and just show how it can be done. Luckily, this is free in Heroku. This is kind of a nice thing I did not talk about a little bit, but once you use the HTTPS in Heroku, you have an SSL certificate. So it's that simple. You just copy with the HTTPS connection, and it just works. So they're doing some cool stuff, man. That just works. Oh, save token information to local storage. This is a big one. OAuth with passport. Unfortunately, that is blocked. Ooh, this one I forgot to talk about. So, integrating character creator. I actually talked to some random dude this week, and he gave me the go-ahead to use and abuse his code as needed to get this working. I went through the code. I thought it was going to be this big to do. I thought that it was, you know, he was making like PNGs on the fly or something ridiculous like that. It's actually a lot simpler than that. He's using JSON references to the actual files and then using hues on top of it. So it's like, we should be able to just straight up save it to the database and then just manually call the same exact function to draw the sprites on the screen as they come in. So it's going to be, it should be relatively easy to do. And it's actually a feature I want to, you know, I actually want to start next week. I think this is a biggie. This is going to be something that we are going to get done. That'll be a fun one on stream. That'll be a fun one. It's something I've been wanting to do. It gets us out of this kind of cycle of iterating through our code, because I've been going through, folks, on some of my old code, and it needs a good cleanup. There's a lot of redundancy in the code. There's a lot of things that I just look at and cringe that need to be cleaned up. But I don't want to bore the ever living hell out of you. I think character creator is kind of a nice, you know, something new, something we can sink our teeth into, something exciting. Because, you know, going over old code that should work and doesn't is not exactly what everyone wants to see right off the bat. You know, and I don't want to waste too much time, you know, finding the right balance of what's appropriate for this live stream is actually becoming more and more difficult. At first, I had so much to get done, and I still do, but I want to start moving on to some of these cooler things, because I feel like sometimes the stream tends to drag. So maybe I might even start picking up some of these moderate priority ones. So I say character creator is next up. I would say that's next up. Next would be, ooh, I would say all three of these are big. Are not just big, but they're definitely doable. Not only are they doable, but I would even say it's somewhat important. Yeah. Yeah, let's put this in here. Let's, because I want to, I had it on the other screen, but I want to put it in here because this is going to be our new list. Let's, this is, local storage. All right, so just so you're aware of what I'm talking about here, local storage is the browser's internal storage, and it is built into Node WebKit and RPG Maker. So we can use its cookies. So we can use the cookies, the application local storage, to save our token, which expires every 2 weeks. So as long as the token is not expired, you're auto logged in, so you don't have to log in every single time. The only caveat with this is that we also have to make a log out system of some way, shape, or form. We have to have some sort of log out button somewhere. I don't know how we're gonna do that yet, but we have to do that. Maybe what we can do is, instead of like auto login, maybe it'll just say, hey, logged in as user, and you have the option to log out right then and there, or just hit continue or something like that. So similar to what we have with the box with the login, instead of showing you the login screen, it just literally puts you right in, or puts you in and says, you know, do you want to continue or do you want to log out? I think that would make a little bit more yeah, log out. We might even be able to get started on that tonight. I'm trying to remember if I think I have a sandbox of it somewhere in an old file. We could do it from scratch again. It's not that big of a deal. We might be able to bang this out tonight, so I might start this tonight. Enforce one user to allow graceful logout. Yeah, this is more, you know, determining if somebody else is logged in as you, you know, do you want to overtake them? Do you want to, you know, not overtake them, that kind of thing. So a little bit more options on graceful logout. I don't even think it works right now in force one user. So that's something we're going to have to touch. That's actually probably a little bit higher of an item. But once again, I can go over this kind of stuff. Yeah, I'll go over this stuff on my own a little bit. Global currency. That's going to be a fun one. I'm looking forward to that. Now that we have everything in a solid base, I think we can start taking on some of these more intricate systems. These more intricate not system, a little bit bigger projects, a little bit longer. Now that we have our base kind of really level and good to go. Global events per map. Once again, I think that's going to be really straightforward. That shouldn't be too difficult. It's just more the configurations that people want out of it would be a lot more imperative. OAuth with Passport Google. I really want to do this so badly. I think this would be good for the community, but we need to get up past that blocker. For those of you who aren't familiar with that blocker, I'm having issues right now trying to... Ooh. Will you be making a complete game? Plans for distribution or no? I am not planning on making a game yet. But I think we should do something to make it a little bit more, we should showcase this, I think, quite a bit more. I might try to dust off the old, I did do a project called Project Fireball with my buddy Ahmad. We did it for IGMC 2018, 17. It was one of them. We did one of the IGMCs. And I used this online system. I kind of built a few more custom aspects of it, but it was really straightforward. Yeah, oh, it was 2017. Okay. Yeah, I could definitely take something like Project Fireball, clean it up, put it to Heroku. Actually would probably be nice. Now that I think about it, I didn't even think of doing it before. See how it plays on Heroku. You know, see how it works. Not a bad idea. Because it's already polished, it's already there. I could probably even make new content for it pretty quickly and easily. Yeah. For right now, I'll consider it. If I don't have time to do that kind of thing, I'm thinking of doing something like partnering with somebody who wants to promote their game or something like that, has a good solid plan for it, you know, wants to make like a pared down version, and then we can kind of just put a bunch of online features to it. Yeah, I would love for those who want in your Discord to team up and work on a game online system, like a collab to showcase. Dude, I am totally down with that. You know, this is one of those things where I don't have a ton of time to put into RPG Maker, like to actually make the maps and the events and all that kind of stuff. I can get the online system up and running. I can make sure everything's working at production level ready. I can make sure, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, it would have to be like a true collab. Like I wish I could spend more time to make like a true demo. I remember making demos back in the day. Demos were fun to make back in the day, but I don't have time for it. So, I mean, if Discord wants to get together and we can start kind of coming up with something, I'll make a channel. We'll just start collabing on something, and we'll put it on GitHub so other people can easily, you know, pick it up, contribute, push it up there, that kind of thing. I think it would be pretty cool. I think it'd be a nice way to do it. And then I can worry about how we're gonna put it up there. I'll probably host it, you know, like I'll pay a little bit for Heroku so that we can get like production level statistics. Maybe we can get a bunch of people to play it just to see how it works at scale, you know, things like that. You don't really think about too much, but it really is important. Can you announce that because I'm down, or do you want to wait? I will announce that in the Discord channel. I'll throw it on, you know, you can announce it and go nuts with it. Yeah, and that's my game plan, is to pair up with people who are a little bit more creative. Just to, you know, showcase, just to do it in a fun and interesting way. Because if I just make a demo, it's going to be so freaking bare bones and nothing. I don't have the time to put in, you know, not even for a story, but even just to make it look good. You know, like I said, Project Fireball, I did all the coding for that thing, but my buddy Ahmad knows how to make assets, and he knows how to put things together and make things flow really, really well, like really solid. So it's one of those things. It's not always been my strong suit. So I have paired up in the past with people to get me over the edge with that. But yeah, I say we start a collab. It's gonna be a little bit before we finish, you know, all the features we want to anyway. But even if we can make like a rolling list of what we have so far and kind of, you know, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to just, yeah, just to make something, just to play it, just to see how it works with everyone. All right, that makes sense. All right, with that, let's take stock back here. So I want to try to, wow. Brainstorming would be nice at least. Let's see if we can bang out. Oh, the Discord link? Yeah, let me bang that out real quick. Hold on a second. I usually put the Discord link in the... Let me throw this in the chat really quick. There you go. Oh, yeah. There we go. Okay. So the Discord link is over there. You know, feel free. I'll start a channel in the Discord. Yeah, let me just do this real quick. Let's call it... let's call it Demo Collab. There we go. Okay. There you go with that. All right, so I made a new channel called Demo Collab. By all means, go nuts with it. Now, let me see if I can... It's going to bug me if I don't change this. There we go. I needed to put a dash. Very important. Very important. Needed to put a dash. Okay. So now we get the demo collab. I don't want to spend too much time on brainstorming a demo. I think we can use our time a little bit more efficiently. I will definitely go with that afterwards. All right, let's try to mess with local storage. Let's see if we can get this rolling. So let's see if we can do this auto logging because it's a low hanging fruit. It's something I think we can do quickish. Quickish. Let me just check something because I'm pretty sure my project 6 and the plugins, my login core. Yes. Perfect. That's what I want. 375. Hold on a second. I will explain in a second exactly what I'm doing here. I just don't want to lose my place. All right. So login core. What's this? Around 375. Okay. So let's say. No. So it's not register attempt. This is connect attempt. Where the hell is connect attempt? There we go. Here we go. Data.temp, if data.token. Perfect. All right. So perfect. So here's what's going on here. We're connecting, right? And we're saying post to log in with our username and password. Then on success, we're going to say if there's a token that comes back, okay, we're going to set the game network token to token, which gets saved when we save the game. But we're also setting local storage as well. This game network token, I think, would be useful as well. But the problem is that it's tied to a save account. When you tie anything within the game, it's tied to the save account. Local storage is tied to the browser. So anytime you connect to the browser, it's going to be there. Okay, so, and that's the key difference. That's the very key difference. So as soon as you start up the game, local storage is already there. Okay, so that's how we're going to detect if it's a token or not. And then here, I'm pretty sure I have somewhere else using local storage. Here we go. Yeah. So I should be able to copy this. I think this is a bad place to put it, but this will get my point across. This helps when you've already done this once before. Okay, so we're gonna enable this really quick. Okay. So right here, I'm going to the scene. Yeah, we might have to do some weirdness over here. Okay, and then the other thing I need to do is verify the token. Ooh. Okay. Let's just enable this. Let's see how it runs. Okay, so we're going to start the game. Right now, there is no token in our application storage. So application storage, let me just get my developer tools open and show you over here. This is going to be weird because it's going to go to my other screen every single time, so bear with me. We should be able to go into local storage. Or is it session storage? I'm pretty sure it's local storage. All right, and once we log in, yeah, here we go. So now it sets the token to our token value. And this token is generated by the server. And we set it to this application storage by coming into this local storage here, the set item of token to data token. So token to data token. Cool, right? Now, when we reload, so if we close out, we save, we resume, if you notice, the login screen didn't even appear. And that is because we give me a second, Rainbow. I'll answer that in a second. What was I saying? So this auto logged us in, okay? Because we already have the application storage. So here, let me just pull this up again. You can see the application storage token. It's already here. We didn't even log in again because once again, it's set at the browser level. So whenever you sign in, it's going to be there every single time because you set the local storage. Okay. Really cool, really simple. But we don't want to automatically log you in. That's not exactly what we want to do. So right here, we're just seeing if you have a token, then you can just go straight to the scene title, which is not exactly what we want to do. Okay, what we want to do is need to verify the token and then proceed as normal, which is actually false. Okay, so need to verify the token. All right, that's the first step, right? So verifying the token is saying we have to go to the server. We have to say, what's my username? Am I valid? Is this token valid? All three. Like, we need to make sure this is valid. Okay, then we need to go to a continue / logout screen. Okay, so we need the ability to log out. Okay, we need the ability to clear the token and to go back to the login screen. Very important. I mean, you know, otherwise, how are you going to log out? You know, you want to be you want to auto log in for people so that way they don't have to constantly log in, but you don't want to make it so that they can't log in as another user ever, because that would be just a pain in the ass completely. Plus this token, if the token is out of date, you want to send them directly to the login screen and set this token again so that way there's just no issue. So it kind of runs both ways here. Okay. So go to a continue logout screen and then go to scene title. Scene title or logout. Okay. So let's figure out how we're gonna how are we All right, really quick, let me just answer a couple of these questions. Cloud safe enabled on Heroku by default. Yes, it is enabled on Heroku by default. Really quick, just to show you that that is working. Cloud save should be working straight out of the box. Wait a minute, let me just make sure my cloud save is correct, because I was working on cloud save earlier. Yeah, I put like a new cloud save. Yeah, I was working on cloud save earlier. I'm actually in the middle of putting it so that you can use multiple save slots. So I'm working on that. But the default that I showed with online cloud save, as soon as you put it in, we come over here. I am signed in as this, so that should work. Saves it. Here, let's save it with us in the top right corner. That's how we'll know if it's saved or not. Okay, so I can close that out, restart this. Oh, right. So that is another cool thing. All right, so that's kind of cool. So right now we're just going straight to the scene title, which is not the correct way of doing it. We have to sign in first to then get yeah, so there's things that we need to take into account here. That's actually hey, thank you, Rainbow Kappa. All right, so now if I hit connect, I should be in the top right corner. And I am not. Why? Why are we not working? Save. Cloud save to cloud. Game end. Let me connect. And we're in the top right corner. Okay, yeah, something got weird in there. Okay. Yep. Load from cloud, save to cloud. So it does work straight out of the box. But like I said, I am messing around with it, Rainbow. So yeah. Oh, Juan. Well, I'm sorry. Juan Gonzalez asked that. Yes. The no, Rainbow asked if the cloud save is enabled. Juan Gonzalez, does the online plugin work for a mobile Android export? Yes, it does. Now, some of this local storage stuff we're going to have to test out, but I have tested Cloud Save, NetPlayer, chat, everything. I have tested everything on Android. Everything works on Android just fine. Actually, chat, I haven't tested in a while. I remember there was issues with like tap versus on click. So let me just check if I ever touch that. So online chat. Tap? Yeah. So chat input dot tap instead of so jQuery has on click function versus tap function. I forgot if I fixed this or not. I know I had to fix it in other places because when you like tap on the screen, it doesn't like focus on it. It was a pain in the ass to figure this out. This is why I think I have like jQuery and jQuery mobile. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so jQuery mobile. Yeah, so I had to include jQuery and jQuery mobile in order to handle iOS and Android. So yes, it does work on Android. Have I tested it, to the nth degree on Android? No. It's something that we should honestly take a little bit more time to do. And actually, there's a couple other things I really want to mess around with Android at a later date. I made like a version controller system that does not work with Android, but I noticed that with Android, we don't even have, we have an awesome deploy method, not deploy, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Remnants of sickness. We do have a really nice Android system, not the manual method defined by the thing. Somebody made an awesome Android tool. I forget exactly where it is, but they did a fantastic job. It's on the site somewhere. Here, hold on. Yeah, because now people are gonna ask, well, where are you finding it? MV Android deploy. It is. No, not that one. Where the this one? No, not that one. Although, what is this one? How old is this one? Interesting. All right, didn't see that one before. The hell am I saying this? What? For maintenance. God. All right, I will post it another time. I have it somewhere, and it's gonna bug me because it is really, really good. And I'm just not gonna find it. I'm just looking at some of my old, All right, I'll find another time for you guys. It's one of the really nice ones. I can't, it's not the default method, that's for sure. Yeah, it might be that one. It might be the one that I like. Yeah, the ultimate system to deploy mine. I gotta look over it. It was really simple though. It was using Android Studio. You pretty much just, you know, put in the Gradle file, put in your things, and it just rocks and rolls. The only thing that didn't have was a JavaScript interface to do extension files. So if you had a big game, it was really a pain in the ass to do. So it is something that we have to work on another time. Shit, this is what happens when I get distracted. We get distracted. Login core. Application setting. Okay, so cloud save. Let's turn off cloud save real quick. See, this is what happens when you pull me off. I get distracted. I blame all of you, every single one of you. Okay. So let's put this token back in. But we do have to take into account that the cloud save is an issue. Okay. So with that, so we need to verify the token. Let's see if we can get that first part done at least tonight. Because I don't want to go too much longer, but let's see if we can bang this out. So we want to come in here. We want to go to our login routes, because our login routes have like the login, the register, all that. So let's see if we make a new one, right? We do something like, say, verify token, right? And we should so here, let me think of how we're going to do this. Oh, wait. Yeah, why don't we just pull in the auth API? Yeah, let me just see how I pull it in on other ones. Let's save. Router, log, auth API. Here we go. Yeah, let's do this. Let's take that. Let's come into our login routes. Let's put this right here. All right, so let's say auth API. Okay. Auth API, and we're calling this auth API method, which brings in a request, a response, and a next. So we want to give it a request, a response, and then we can give it a callback, right? And we can say error, and what else does it give us? It gives us a return. Just gives us a next. Because normally this is done as a middleware function, but that's perfectly fine. Because really we just want... Okay, oh, wait. It's gonna give us a next. Can you run a middleware function on a single route? Let's try it. I don't know. Huh. You can pass next. Huh. You'd be able to do something like this. Let me see what we got here. Console function. Next. Here's an example of a series of middleware functions at a mount point with a mount path. So... hold on a second. Let me see if I'm understanding this correctly. Enable to define multiple routes for paths. The example below defines 2 routes for GET requests to the user ID. The second route will not cause any problems, but it would... Well, we can run the next. So if we run a next, then it goes to the next. User ID, user ID. Interesting. I am gonna try this. I am not fully understanding it, which is not a good thing to do. You don't want to do things that you don't truly understand. Alright, so request, response, next. We're gonna do another. Something like this. Right? And let's do... Yeah, because this is gonna, so if this fails, it's gonna return that it failed. And if not, I am pretty positive this should work. Sorry guys, give me a second. So I should be able to say something like this. So if we wanted to do token, I've never done this for a specific thing before. We're gonna try it. What's the worst that happens? All right, so this is a cool time where we don't want to use Heroku because it's something simple. So router get verify token. Oh, hold on, where is it looking for the token? Request body dot token. Or x-axis token. Okay, request params. Okay. All right, so this is a job for Postman. Let me see if I can set this up really quick. I'm sorry, guys. I want to do this, but I don't want to show you. Shit. All right, I got to do this off screen. I will show you this another time. Shit, what am I testing? Verify token. Verify token. And we want to verify token, and we want to do token equals to just some random gibblygook. Send. Failed to authenticate token. Perfect. So I'm going to show this real quick, because now I can show it, because I didn't want to show other things I had. Excuse me. So this is Postman. Okay, and the reason why I didn't want to show you is because I have other data on here that I just wasn't appropriate. So this right here is just a query builder, Postman, and it's really nice for testing really simple things. So I just did a get request localhost verify token, and then I did the parameter token equals just some random gibblygook, and it said fail to authenticate token, which is exactly what we want. Okay, so if you put in gibblygook, it is running this authentication layer, right, and it's not letting it through. Now let's try and see if we can run something actually through. So what is the quickest way I can actually do that? That is a fantastic question. I want to send... Let me see if I can copy it from here. Only one way to find out. Copy. And we open up Postman. Alright, let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Fail to authenticate token. Here, hold on a second. be just a URL encode that we have to encode. Here, give me a second. Send. Failed to authenticate token. What didn't it like? It says 403. So 403 in auth over here. So we want to verify with the config. Oh, I know why. I know why. Okay. No, this is absolutely right. So I am reading this token. This token is from my nel test 2 on Heroku. That's where this token is coming from. And my token from my localhost server is using a completely different password and everything else. So this is correct. I'm going to put this back up here because I have an idea of how I'm going to fix it. So really quick. Here, hold on. Before I get too crazy with this, I'm going to save. Hold on, save as. All this. Forgive me, guys. Alright, so we don't want a verify token, but what if we wanted to just log in normally to get a token? Does that make sense? So we want to log in and get a token. So we can come in here and we can do... Oh god, no, it's not going to be that simple. Shit. What's the easy way to do this? We need to do this. We need to do this. We need to... Wait a minute. Give me a second, folks. I'm trying to think of an easy way to do this. Alright, I think I know. I think I know a way. Alright, so let's put this here. Isn't this fun? Getting wrecked. Getting wrecked. Let's change this over to localhost. Once again, you can't see this, but trust me, I am putting in localhost. Online main core. I gotta put in this default. Give me a second. Okay. Set that. Okay, that's main core, login core. Okay, I don't want to... See, now I have to undo this because I can't log out. So I have to do this because now I have to log in. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so I log in. Okay, and I should... So we don't see it. Yeah, no, this token is here, but it's the wrong token. We don't want that token. So if I come over here, I mean, I could delete this and kind of do it from there. I think the better way to do this for right now would be game network token. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So we take that. We go to Postman somewhere. It's all part of the plan, ladies and gentlemen. All part of the plan. Okay. Ha! Yeah, boy. All right. I love when shit just magically works. It's almost as if they made documentation to make it work like this. Almost. So login routes. So this is the way to run an auth API on just one little verify token. For our purposes, it actually is perfect for the verify aspect of it, because it's already running through everything. So we can run a get verify token with a query parameter of token equals this. Okay, so get. Where do I use get? I use get with a, hold on, because post you can, huh. With params. There we go. No, not what I'm looking for. No, not what I'm looking for. Oh, there's a way to do it. God, that's like the worst. Okay. Yeah, here we go. Additional data long, ignoring the return results. Yeah. So you can just add an extra thing onto it. Okay. Oh boy. All right. Going around in circles, ladies and gentlemen. So if a token, we want to let's take this just to get the basic logic in it. Okay, and we want to do the server URL, and we want to do, what was it, a verify token. Yeah, there's no extra thing on there. Okay, all right, so verify token. And the second thing we want to put is token, and we want to make it equal to token. Perfect. We don't need that. We don't need, yeah, let's put that down there just so we have a little bit more, so it's a little clearer exactly what we're trying to do. There, that looks a little better. Okay, we don't need any of this. So the data that is coming back is the request.decoded. So let's just log this out and make sure it's coming back. So let's just say data is equal. Throw that over there. We don't want to say cloud save fail. If we fail, okay, so let's just stop for a second. Okay, so if there's a token, we're going to verify the token. If the token is verified, right now we're just going to say data is equal. We just want to see what the data is. We're going to make an actual, hold on a second. Okay. We're going to make an actual like continue or log out screen. So we're gonna push you off to that section. So so right here we want to go here and then go there. Okay, so that's where we want to go. We want to go to a continue log out screen and then go into scene title or whatever. So that's going to be our flow. Once you get the token verified, if the token does not verify, okay, we want to erase the token that you have there and go directly to the login screen. Does that make sense? So if you fail, you technically want to run this. Okay. So we don't need this else. Do we need this else? You want to know what, for right now, let's just copy this logic. I think there's an easier way to do this. Let's just copy this for right now. Okay, so if you fail, we want to go back to the login screen. Okay, and we also want to create a login form, local storage. Here, let's see where this local storage is. Is this built-in stuff? Well, would you look at that? Local storage not remove item. What is this key? Okay. Alright, so if it fails, we want to get rid of the item. We want to get rid of token. Because here's my reasoning for this. If you go and your token is not valid, okay, we're just going to assume that it's not valid. Okay, so we're going to put you back to the login screen, get rid of your token, make you sign in again. I think it's just the cleanest approach to look at it. Now it'd be like, why isn't it working? What? No, just no, absolutely not. Go back to square one, please and thank you, and move on. And that's how we should play this. Okay, so all right, so let me just double think about this. Okay, so this should work. So right now, if I'm thinking about this, I never deleted the token, so this should fall into the fail category. Should. Where is my game? All right, so if I restart this should fail. Oh, no, it got my token. Oh, cool. Why did it get my token? Oh, because I overrode it. Can I come in here and change it? Because I want to see if it messes with this. Yeah, perfect. All right, so if I restart this, cool. I want to break things. Play title music is not a function. Yeah, I see it. I see it. Hold on a second. Yeah. Lexical scope. Good times. Good times. All right, so yeah, this kicked us back to the login screen. So once again, just so everyone's aware of this, it got rid of our token because I had a random token key, all right, and I had a random value. So if I come back in here, it's just going to clear out the token because it's a bad token. also gave us that screen back there, which is not what you want to see. Hold on a second. Let's double take on that one. That was kind of weird. Ooh, that's not good. Because you can get around that. God, I hate when that happens. Okay. Create login form. Oh. This. Here. Let's do that. There we go. That's how you do that. Token, that. Come back here, gets rid of the token, puts us here, and then when we do connect, it actually makes the valid token. So that way when we come back in here, we can look at our console. Right now it's not going to the scene title, which is fine, but the console does say data is equal, token is legitimate, and this can go up here. That would put us back to the title, and this would work. Go away. Okay. Alright, so that's the first part of this, is to make it equal. Alright, data is equal. Alright, so now we want to go to a completely separate screen. So we don't want to go to create login form. We want to go to a completely separate. All right, we want to go to a completely separate screen. All right, so I wonder if we could do something like this. So let's get rid of all of this stuff. Because I'm pretty sure we can throw this right up here. That way we're not doing... Right. It's a little backwards, but it's not crazy. At least that way we're not... we don't need to remove the item. And let's do this. That way we're not duplicating a ton of code, because I think it's getting a little silly here. Okay. And we want to not create the login form, but we want to create logout form. Logout continue. Create logout continue. We'll call it form just to keep it in the relative. Alright, so that's registration, that's login, it's activation. Let's model it after create activation form. So let's just copy that real quick. Once again, I'm just modeling this out. This is nothing, this is not going to be anything pretty. That's fine. Lost password form, change password, lost password, connect attempt, chat. Where do we go here? Activation form. Alright, so we want to we want to do? We don't want to create a login form. No. We want to do a continue button. Alright, so instead of activation, let's do continue. Okay. I'll just keep the IDs here for right now, just so we can see it. And the key press. We don't want to create the login form. What do we want to do? We don't need this. And what do we want to do with this? Click touch start. No, we don't want to do this. Let's change both of these to button continue. Click touch start, and we want to sign in. Where do we go for that? All right, there's got to be a place where we're calling this somewhere. Oh, shit. Where is this? Hold on. Connect attempt, set value, connect after socket, CMap. Yeah, it's just scene manager, go to CMap. All right. All right. Yeah, because we don't want to go to the title. We want to go straight to the map. Right. So we want to activation form, create logout continue form. So we can just push this right here. Just go straight to the map. Okay. All right, maybe not that simple. There's obviously things I need to do. All right, so there we go. That should work. We get a valid thing, continue. Excuse me a second. Excuse me. I'm missing something. What the hell am I missing? Fade out all, connect attempt. Huh. Should close. What am I missing? I'm missing something. All right. I think people can still see me. Sorry about that. My stream kind of got killed for a couple seconds. We are doing this error printer fade out to actually fade out the error printer because everything is based off the error printer HTML. So now this should work. Hopefully. Login. Boom, baby. Boom, boom, boom. Did it say login or continue? It said login. Oh. You know that. Continue. Here, let's change it to like, no. Welcome. Let's welcome. Right, let's put a name here. Right? Do something like token.name. Yeah. Yeah, undefined. All right. Welcome, undefined. You have been chosen. You want what? Data. Data would help. Welcome, undefined. Once again, I like being undefined. Don't put me in your name brackets. Data.token.name. There we go. Welcome. You know, maybe have like a log out or continue button, something like that. I really should make something a little bit more user friendly, but now that we have the basics of this, I think we're pretty good here. And then the log out button would take you back to the login screen and clear the token. So this should be pretty good to go very, very soon. And the beautiful thing about this now is that you're going to be logged in every single time. So as soon as I log in, all I have to do is hit the continue button and we're good to go. We're in the game. And technically, even here, we should be going maybe to the new game, load game, that kind of thing with the cloud save. Let's see how that plays, actually. I haven't even tested this yet. Let's, oh, let's take into account this cloud save really quick. Let me look at this cloud save. Where is it? Oh shit. Okay. All right, so we're gonna have to run this. Okay. So in order for, we have to run this connect sockets after login, because this is where all the extra stuff from other socket plugins work. So this should make cloud save work. And if my calculations are correct, we should appear in the top right corner, or it should all fail horribly. Show me potato set. Fuck. Why wouldn't it? Oh, we changed it to localhost. Hold on. We changed it to localhost. We were testing on the other server before. So if I save, I come back in, I continue, I still fail. What the fuck? Verify token, save, load from cloud. No bueno. Why? I'm just gonna troubleshoot this for a couple of seconds. I'm not gonna go too nuts with this. Let's not spend too much time on this. We've already spent too much time. Saves. Save data. It looks like it's there just fine. Oh, sorry about that, guys. My OBS is killing me. I think we're gonna start to wrap this up. I have some really corrupt data. I am trying to figure this out. Here, let me see if I can get rid of this and it'll just work. I'm definitely screwing something up. So, yeah. Yeah, is transferring of undefined. What am I trying to transfer? Game player. Okay, so game player is completely not even there. Jesus. The hell is there? Undefined. Good times. I broke it. I try. What did I do here? What happens if I go to scene title instead of scene map? I have a feeling that's part of the issue. I'd say failed. Yeah, I think I'm just going a little bit too quick for everything. I think it's a race condition. 403 forbidden. Yeah. Yeah, so what happens if I come into here? Put this back here. All right, stream is still working. Something like that. It is somewhat working. Continue. Okie dokie. Cannot read window tone of undefined. What the fuck? Game system just straight up like not. Yeah, something's not fully loading here. Yeah, definitely. All right, so if I take this out of the equation, right? Hit continue, cloud save failed. Okay. There. Forbidden. Okay. That's game network token. But the game network token should be set somewhere. Where the hell is it set? Where the hell are you set? It's got to be set in here somewhere. Yeah, game network token equals data.token. Okay. So how about we call this a token? All right, so let's do name. Let's just pass the token, just for shits and giggles. Let's just make sure that this is what's going on here. All right, so let's just pass the token in. That's not what we want. Shit. Oh no. We can pass this in. Okay, so data token name, and then we can do this. That should work. Equal to token. Yeah, let me just make sure the token is correct. I'm only gonna do this a couple more seconds. If this does not work, I will mess with this off the stream because I don't want to spend too much longer doing this. Token. Okay. So we're saving the correct token to the game network token. So why isn't it working? Better question. Why aren't you working? So we set the game network token after we hit continue. Network token equals token connects sockets after login, which should run the cloud save. That's calling all the other ones. What else is running this connect socket after login? Yep, that's calling it. That's calling it. Global vars. Yeah, let me just make this the exact same. It shouldn't matter. It really shouldn't. Data is not defined. 268. Just put this in here. Maybe it's because I'm not returning anything. Let's double check. Yeah, I would be shocked, but I've seen crazier things. It's like game system is not there. Yeah, that's super weird. Create login form. Connect attempt, registration attempt. Even like connect attempt. Right? Post. Say okay. Good to go. That's not a big deal. Data token. We set the game network token. We set the local file. That's fine. And then this is literally the exact same. Fade out, display map, display info. What the hell is the difference? Like, what the hell is the difference? Makes no sense. Printer. Like cleanup that I'm just not seeing. Ooh. Something's not making sense here, folks. All right. I am going to work on this on my own because something is not right. Something is funky in Funky Town. And I got to figure this out. So I'm going to put this to... this, just so we know that's different. Adding logic to use local storage. Adding logic to use local storage to auto login. So much for quick and easy. It should have been quick and easy, but it was not, unfortunately. All right, I don't want to drag this on too much longer. Yeah, we're dwindling off. All right. So like I said, let's take it over to Discord for the demo collab. If anyone has any questions about the Heroku thing that we did at the beginning, I'm gonna try to make a separate video just with that part for YouTube. Combine it with a quick client tutorial. Do a little bit of documentation, and we should be good to go on that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you need to get in touch with me, once again, Discord channel. I have it in the description, comment section. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty solid, ladies and gents, pretty solid. Everyone have a wonderful evening and have a wonderful week, and I'll see you all soon.